A crowd roared inside the dim-lit underground MMA arena, but the real story that would shock millions began with a single sentence projected across the big screen. "Beat me and I'll give you $1 million. People laughed, shouted, and recorded on their phones. The heavyweight champion, Mason, the Iron Wolf, Creed, stood in the ring flexing his arms, grinning like he owned the world. He'd issued the challenge as a publicity stunt, something to boost his channel's views. No one expected the quiet girl in a gray hoodie, sitting alone in the back row, to stand up. She didn't look threatening, didn't look like she belonged here. She looked invisible, and yet her eyes had a depth, cold, steady, calculating, like she'd already won a fight no one else could see. She stepped forward, the crowd parting awkwardly, confused whispers following her. "Bro, is she lost? Maybe she thinks this is open mic night. Someone's sister. She's gonna die." But she kept walking until she stood at the base of the stage, lifting her chin just enough to meet Mason's stare. "I'll take the challenge," she said. For a moment, silence spread across the room like a held breath. Mason blinked. Then he burst into laughter. "Yo, guys, she wants the million. This is gold." The audience joined him, but something about her calm face made a few people pull out their phones. They knew this might be a moment worth recording. The announcer shrugged. "All right, contestant number 13. Name." She tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "Lena." Her voice didn't shake, not even a little. But nobody here knew that her full name, Lena Hale, was classified in more than one government database. Nobody knew she trained SEAL candidates. Nobody knew she had survived missions most soldiers never came back from. Nobody knew she once promised her dying brother she'd never use her skills again unless she had no choice. Tonight, something inside her whispered that choice had arrived. Dash dash dash. The bell rang. Mason charged forward like a bull, fist swinging. Lena didn't move. The punch cut through the air, and met nothing. She slipped sideways like she was made of smoke. Mason stumbled, confused. He swung again, harder. She dodged again. No panic. No tension. Only precision. "What the hell?" he muttered, breath growing tight. The crowd leaned forward, their laughter fading into stunned silence. Another punch. She blocked with one hand, barely shifting. The sound echoed like bone hitting steel. Mason winced. Lena didn't. "You're pulling your strikes," she said softly. "You shouldn't. You won't land a single one if you do." That sentence stabbed his pride deeper than any fist. He roared and threw a full combo, jab, hook, elbow, knee. She parried every single one. Every hit pushed him back instead of forward. Every movement looked effortless. Someone in the audience whispered, "Bro, she's trained." Like, trained. Someone else nodded, recording with shaking hands. "This is going viral. No way she's normal." Mason's fury turned into panic. He felt something he hadn't felt in years, fear. Lena didn't attack. Not yet. She wanted him to understand something. She wanted the world to understand too, that strength isn't always loud. He lunged again. She stepped inside his guard so fast no one saw her move and tapped his sternum with her palm. Just a tap. Mason dropped to his knees like his lungs had folded in half. A gasp spread through the arena. "Finish him," someone shouted. But Lena stepped back. "Get up," she said gently. "You're better than this." Her voice wasn't mocking. It was encouraging. It confused him more than the hit did. He pushed himself up, shaking. Why are you doing this? You said anyone who beats you gets $1 million, she said quietly. I don't want the money. I want the lesson." "What lesson?" "That strength isn't measured by how many people you can break. It's measured by how many people you can lift." She had seen fighters like him before, broken boys hiding behind muscle and arrogance. She saw pain in his eyes, the kind that came from old wounds never spoken aloud. She raised her hands again, but this time, her stance shifted, calmer, softer. "Come," he charged, but this time with discipline, not ego. And she met him with grace, redirecting each strike, showing him the art hidden beneath violence. Every block taught him balance. Every counter taught him humility. Every moment felt like she was rebuilding him. When she finally swept him gently to the mat, pinning him with one controlled movement, he didn't fight back. He exhaled, broken not by force, but by truth. Mason tapped out. The bell rang. Silence. Then an eruption of cheers so loud the rafters shook. Lena stood and offered him a hand. You're strong, she said. Now learn to be better. He took it. 5 hours later, the clip had already reached millions. People everywhere were asking the same question. Who is she? Rumors spread, CIA, Black Ops, martial arts savant. But Lena wasn't any of those to the world. She disappeared before reporters arrived, before questions could be asked. But Mason found her outside, standing by the cracked wall behind the arena, gazing up at the night sky. You earned the $1 million, he said, holding out the briefcase. She shook her head. Give it to a veteran rehab center. A good one. You're one of them, aren't you? She looked at him with that same calm depth. I trained people who protected this country. Some of them didn't come home. Mason swallowed. Why'd you come tonight? Because someone told me you were losing yourself, she said. And sometimes, it takes one fight to save a life. Who told you? She smiled just a little. A friend. But in her pocket was a worn photo, her brother, smiling in uniform. The next morning Mason posted the full fight on his channel with a message. Real strength is kindness. Real courage is humility. Like this video, share it, and subscribe, not for me, but for the lesson she taught me. You never know who's quietly fighting battles you can't see. And across the world, people felt something shift, an understanding, a spark, a little more hope. Because a quiet girl reminded everyone that the strongest warriors are often the ones you'd never notice in a crowd, until the moment they change your life. And sometimes, they do it with nothing more than silence, skill, and a heart brave enough to heal what fists never could.